The message to industry that comes out of this face-to-face confrontation is, if we can't reuse it, if we can't recycle it, if we can't compost it, then industry shouldn't be making it. Grow up, industry. We live on a finite planet. We need some discipline here. We're not going to get to sustainability with our hands in our pockets. This is going to be tough. We're reversing 300 years of history from the Industrial Revolution. I don't think it's going to be easy. It's going to be tough, 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 tough to convert to a circular society. So the discipline is to stop producing the crap. If you stuff that we can repair, stuff that we can reuse, stuff that we can recycle, stuff that we can compost, okay, we'll continue to deal with that in the community. But don't expect us to jump through whatever it is, hurdles and things, because you insist upon producing crap. Why should we poison ourselves with incinerators and toxic ash because you can't get to grips with decent industrial design? We've got to get strong about this, folks. Polite people get poisoned. We need better industrial design for the 21st century. Now, we haven't yet seen the whole thing put together, but we have got a zero waste research centre. It's very tiny in Capanari in Italy, pioneered by my friend Rossano Cellini. And here's the analysis of the residual fraction. And this analysis is of the 17% left over after the 83% diversion. And top of the list are textiles and leather, shoes and things, and old clothing. So as a result of that, they're now collecting that separately and looking for local uses for it. Next, we have disposable diapers. See there, I said it was 13, it's actually 14%. And so the end result of that is that they are encouraging people to use reusable diapers. In fact, the local pharmacies are giving away the first reusable diaper to new parents, or parents of new babies. And the third one is interesting. Look at that, that's kitchen waste. Kitchen waste. But they're separate, they're collecting organics separately. So what does that tell you? You need better education. Some people are not getting the message. Some people are putting it in the wrong container. So we need this constant feedback on whether the good things that we're doing, people are actually doing it for us. This is a way of gauging whether when you put something on, people actually comply with it. And if they don't, you've got to be more creative. And there are creative things to do. Take the trash man in Rockford, Illinois, in the late 1980s. This son of an advertising executive got involved with educating people in Illinois' second largest city. So what did they do? He dressed up as a clown, Mr. Trashman, and he had a polka-dotted truck, and he drove this truck to one household a week. The computer told him which household to go to, and then they would take the trash and inspect it. And if that household had kept their designated recyclables out of the trash, they won $1,000. And if they didn't, somebody next week would win $2,000, then $3,000 and $4,000. This was covered on Japanese television, the New York Times, and the participation rate went up 400% in a couple of months. Now you might think that $1,000 is a lot of money. You pay that amount of money for consultants to use the toilet. The best definition of waste is a busload of... Sorry, this is not directed, you know. The best definition of waste is a busload of consultants going over the Niagara Falls with 3 empty seats in it. Actually, another one. All lawyer jokes can be recycled as consultant jokes. So there's another one which is, what's the difference between a mathematician, a philosopher, and a consultant? If you ask a mathematician what 2 + 2 is equal to, he or she will tell you 4. If you ask a philosopher, they say, well, it really depends what you mean by 2 and what you mean by plus. And if you ask a consultant, they say, shut the door and tell me what you want it to be. Okay. Where were we? Diapers. Okay. There we go. Better industrial design. That's what we're aiming for. We want industrial responsibility. We want industry to design things to last. Get rid of this built-in obsolescence. We can't afford it as a planet. Built-in obsolescence. Build to last. And start getting, okay, if you build to last, then you're going to stop selling all your new cars and new televisions, etc., etc. I know that. So each business should now be thinking of the future, which will combine the production of new products with the reuse of old products. So they are anticipating the new things coming round. They should make their objects with in modular fashion, easy to dismantle, use at least the parts again and the materials again if possible. I've got an example of that in a moment. We need clean production, stop using lead, cadmium, mercury, arsenic, etc. in products. They're doing that now in Europe. Sweden in particular has banned the use of mercury and cadmium, I think. And lastly, you need extended producer responsibility, EPR. You've got a wonderful example of EPR in Canada. It's the beer industry. First of all, the product is not waste. People get wasted drinking it, but it's not waste itself. And if you come in reusable bottles, and the bottles are used, as they are in Ontario, 18 times, and 98% are being recollected, and this is saving the company money, and it's created 2,000 jobs in the collection of the beer bottles and the cleaning of the beer bottles. It is no cost to the municipality at all. The beer industry has internalized the packaging costs, whereas the other industries have externalized the packaging costs. In other words, we are paying for their packaging, or disposing of their packaging. So that has been going for 60 years, and that's a zero waste company. So don't tell me it's not practical. You've got a major corporation in Canada which has been zero waste for 60 years. It can be done. And there's another example. Xerox in Europe collects old copy machines from 20, I guess now 20, when I was there, 16 European countries, I think it's probably now 21. The trucks which take the new machines in one direction bring the old machines back in the opposite direction. They take them to huge warehouses in Venray in the Netherlands, Dundalk in Ireland, and there they separate machines into 4 different categories. Some machines are from showrooms and all they need to be done is cleaned. Other machines just need 1 or 2 parts replaced, they can replace them. Other machines, category C, the whole machine can't be reused, but certain parts are still valuable, they can be cleaned up and used again. And finally, the very old machines, no reusable parts, but some of the materials can be recycled. Now that's a massive logistical operation. I've been in their plant. The computers are programmed to collect the parts. They can be told to collect a new part or a reused part into the machines. The machines must meet the same specifications as a new machine, even though it's made of reusable stuff. Expensive operation, right? Massive. Very expensive. That company is saving $76 million a year doing that. And that's the news that comes back from every single corporation that invests in zero waste or waste reduction. I never forget a conference or packaging conference in Toronto. And this guy from Quaker Oats, he said, from Peterborough, Quaker Oats, he says, "I'm not an environmentalist. I assure you, I am not an environmentalist. However," it says, "we at Quaker Oats have been reducing waste wherever we possibly can." He went through the different things, how they use some of the waste products for animal feed, how they are recycling the containers which bring the honey in. And he says, "I have to tell you, we're saving money." And that's what these industrialists wanted to hear, that here's something that can save money. But he wasn't an environmentalist. Please, be certain, not an environmentalist. So I reckon we can get 70 to 80% with community responsibility, all the things I talked about, reuse, repair, waste reduction initiatives, etc. But the other 20 or 30% is going to have to come from industrial responsibility.